Hello. Today I would like to talk about the film I went to see last night. As I said, I was teaching belly dancing during the weekend. I did a workshop. It went very well. I got a lot of very good feedback, and it was fun. I really love sharing my joy of dancing. That's why I actually teach. It's not planning on getting rich because I will never get rich on my belly dancing. But it's okay. It's fun. It's much fun and it's a pleasure. Anyhow, I was going to talk about the film I saw last night, and it's because it's a film made from a book. I saw the new version of Jane Eyre. It's a 2011 version. And it just got around, it was just shown here. It took a while before they got it. According to the guys who works at the cinema, who kind of orders the films and decides which films to make, it was put on because I was nagging about it. So that's a good thing, I guess. But I was going to talk about Jane Eyre. I read the book ages ago. I did it when I did English at university, my first year of English. That must have been 95 or 96 or thereabouts. So about 15 years ago. Some of you might not think that's ages ago, but for me, when it comes to reading, 15 years is quite a long because it's limited what I remember. I have to look on my notes. But yeah. Jane Eyre, as some of you might know, if you've read the books, you will know that this is about Jane Eyre, who is an orphan. Her parents died, and she's been left to her aunt and uncle, and then when her uncle died, her aunt promised her uncle to take care of her. However, her aunt thinks that she's a burden, and she's kind of neglected by her, as well as her cousins, who is quite abusive of her. They abuse her both verbally and physically, and she has a quite rough upbringing in this home of her aunt. And then her aunt doesn't really care about her, so she sends Jane Eyre away to a school for girls. It's a very strict school, a very strict religious girls. And there she kind of spends the rest of her childhood, and that's kind of where she stays until she's about 18, I guess. I think she's about 18 when she leaves the school to work at Thornfield Hall for a man called Edward Rochester. Edward Fairfax Rochester, and she is to be a governess for the girl he's a warden for. And at the moment I've forgotten her name. Adelaine? I'm not sure. I'm sorry for not remembering her name, but that's how things are sometimes. Anyhow, she's sent there, and he is a very, very, very stern man in some ways. He's different, and she's different as well. So, while she's there, they develop this strong friendship, and also she actually falls in love with him. And however, there's a lot of mysterious things that happens at Thornfield Hall, and it will soon turn out that this Mr. Rochester, he has a lot of dark secrets. But I'm not going to say anything about it. When I saw it, I went with two of my friends, and we were talking about the actor, the guy who played Edward Rochester, and they were kind of, I said, "Oh, I know I've seen him before," and they were like, "No, we don't know." They couldn't remember seeing him in anything, and then I looked up on IMDb, and of course it turns out that he's been in X-Men First Class, 300, and there was some other film. And I can't remember. Of course, I'm so bad at remembering these things. But yeah, so that's where I've got him from. I must say I really enjoyed this adaptation of the book. It's probably the best adaptation of Jane Eyre I have ever seen. It's quite true to the book. I've seen some other versions that has been less true to the book, and this is a lot more truer, and I really like that it's not like fantasy shamancy. It doesn't pretend to be more than it was. Also, it is the images, the footage is really wonderful. There's so much pretty scenery, and the actors are great, and I just loved it. It was this depth, and I really enjoyed this adaptation, as I said. It's kind of hard to explain a lot, a lot without kind of giving away too much. But yeah, and I thought it was really great acting. And it lasted for like 2 hours, 11 minutes or something about that time, but it's kind of flew. It was just brilliant. I enjoyed every single moment. And it was, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I probably said that a gazillion times now. And it sounds so unintelligent to say, oh, it was a great movie because I loved it. But yeah, great acting, really nice scenery, great footage. The casting was brilliant. The guy who played Sinjan was also very fitting for the character, and of course Jane Eyre as well. And the costumes was really good too, very true to the period. It was the period of Jane Eyre, and of course, I don't know how much you know about this book, but it is very much a feminine work, feminist work. I mean, for the time it was made, it was really unlike a lot of. It was. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with my English. It was not very. It was kind of foresighted. Is that what you say? Anyhow, it's kind of a feminist work. If you see the film, you will understand what I mean. And it's very good description of the role of the woman and her situation. If it's very seldom if you're a woman that you would be free. There would also almost always be someone who were kind of taking care of you. If it was your family or your husband. There's one, I'm not really giving away a lot, but there is one scene in the film where Sinjan asks Jane Eyre to marry her. And that would be the only way for her to go with him as a missionary to India, because she would really like to go, but she says she doesn't want to marry him, and he says that it wouldn't be acceptable within the society for her to go with him unless they were married, which says quite a lot. And there's also a scene in Thornpin Hall where she's kind of gazing out and she's talking about the limits of women, which is also quite interesting and descriptive of how the situation was for women at the time. And the scary thought is, or it's not scary, but it's kind of sad that there are still women in the world who are not free. So it's very important to know that there are still women with a very hard situation in this world. But I digress. It was a brilliant film. I would highly recommend it. I really loved it. So yeah, go see it. And that's it for today. I will see you guys later. Bye.